My name is Nathalie Nunez, and this is my audience for today.
Okay.
Okay, so here is my presentation. Who here has ever gotten your period? Okay, and who here has gotten your period out in public, but you didn't have a tampon or pad on you? Okay, so my point is that basically everyone here has gotten your period out in public, and you didn't have a tampon or pad, and like, the thing that came to mind is that, shoot, am I gonna go buy a new box, or am I gonna go home? But the problem is that for most people, that's not the issue. Their issue is, what are they gonna use instead of a tampon or pad because they can't afford one to begin with? That is called period poverty. So according to Medical News Today, around 500 million menstruators fall into period poverty, and over 50% of those menstruators have to choose between food or period products. And my question to you is, why does anyone have to choose between two human necessities when they are both needed? So this is why we must put an end to period poverty. Okay, so first thing we need to attack is the stigma that follows periods. People, mostly men, see periods as dirty, unclean, and just gross, something that you need to keep to yourself. But periods are your body keeping you healthy and clean. They are cleaning you. That's the whole point of them. And so that's why they need to be talked about. If we don't talk about them, then we can't attack this problem. So what we need to do is mention them in our daily conversations, our work environments, and classrooms. We need to educate people on health hygiene and how to and where you can get these products access and just education. So the other thing about period poverty is that when we don't talk about this and the millions of people it's affecting, it affects them not just mentally or physically, it also affects them socially. So according to the period poverty, millions of people have to choose between, let's say, clothing, food, medication, or period products. And this is a monthly thing that they have to choose because periods come monthly. And when these women or menstruators, everyone menstruates, you know, all people, they fall into depression because it's a tough choice to make especially when you have children or even yourself. You're like, do I buy food this month or do I keep myself healthy? Like, it's a really tough decision, and they fall into depression. Another thing is for physically, when things that women use and menstruators use instead of period tampons or pad, or let's say newspapers, makeup pads, baby diapers, toilet paper, they use whatever they can have access to prevent any further leakage. And this actually causes harm to your body because you're not treating your body how it's supposed to be treated. And then this can further lead to like infections, urinary infections, genital infections. So this affects you physically. And for socially, a lot of women, especially young girls, they tend to miss school and work because they don't have the access to tampons or pads. So instead of like risking it and like risking like bleeding through at these like public places, they stay home, and also they don't have access to pain medication for these. So instead of like going to work and school through the pain, they decide to stay home. So this affects them socially. And then for the third thing is that if we don't talk about this, then how are we going to get government action? And it always starts with us making the first step and stuff, but we also need government action to intervene because that's how we get the whole world and like the whole public view into this and like to take action. And so by that, JD.com, the primary like supply chain in China, they are taking action by starting a program that donates period products to local places like shelters and schools nearby. And what we need to do is present this to the U.S. government to say like, hey, we should look at these places and take action from what they are doing and make our own steps by it, because we have seen that it has made progression what JD.com has done. And so the World Economic Forum has said that JD.com hopes to produce affordable products in their own supply chain, which also connects to them donating to these places. So we can also do that. So like what the U.S. needs to do is take notes, acknowledge that this is a problem first off, and then figure out solutions. And always know that you can do something as well. So my conclusion is that what I want you to take away from this is that what period poverty is. Period poverty, best said by the Global Citizen, is that it is a lack of sanitary products, hygiene education, and waste management. And the other thing I want you guys to take away is that what you can do to prevent period poverty from progressing. And so know that there is a stigma that follows periods, and what you need to know is that there's many effects that come with it, mentally, physically, and socially. And what we need to do is to get government action involved, but to do that, you have to take action yourself. And even if it's the smallest little action, just know that it can be life-changing for those that fall into period poverty. Thank you.